Hello, Sula here from MistyHilltops.com. Thanks for stopping by. In this video, I'm working on a 4x6 autumn mini album spread titled I Love Fall, and I'm using the digital version of the collection Hello Autumn by Carta Bella, and then the embellishments, maybe some dies. So here I have a photo that I want matted with a dark, kind of a brown cardstock. And then I have this paper strip that I also want matted, but the way I mat paper strips and all that is to save myself some paper. I just use strips to both sides, and I start gluing them to whichever paper strip I want to glue them to the behind, and then so I can kind of eyeball the distance there and make it even. And so I find that works really easily, but I don't have to use a large piece of paper because I do have so many scraps, literal scraps of small pieces of cardstock from other projects, and I'm like, I could still use them rather than using yet another big piece of cardstock and then having more small pieces that I have no use for and would throw away. So that's how I can use up all those little scraps, just by using them as mats when they're not really mats. So then I have this ribbon that I also want to go across the page there. And so this is, I needed that mat, which is not a mat, but I needed that mat behind the paper strip for contrast because the pattern paper is super busy. And then the paper on top with all the writing is super busy. So it would just be a clash of patterns, and to contrast that, I wanted it matted. And then here I have the ribbon that I am gluing to the back, because this will go on cardstock, and so it's not a big deal if it just is glued in the back there. So this one actually I am just going to glue directly to the back side of another page. So I'm saving myself the cardstock, especially because it keeps my mini album a little thinner. That's my main reasoning for not always using, when it's a full cardstock background that would fully cover the background, I am not using an extra background cardstock there like the other page, because it keeps my album thinner. So I'm trying to not make things too bulky, because mini albums do tend to get quite bulky. These are some embellishments that I printed out and then had my silhouette cut, and I have a video how I get perfect print and cuts. So print with my printer, cut with my silhouette, and how I get perfect print and cuts. There's an officially recommended feature that comes with Silhouette Studio, but I find it just doesn't work as beautifully as my own method. And so I always use my own method. It saves me paper, and it gets perfect cuts pretty much every single time, as you can see from these embellishments. Now here because this is very thick cardstock, and so I'm like some of the intricate cuts, the silhouette wasn't like when I pulled it from the mat, the paper got stuck a little, so I'm just removing that. It's not a fault of the silhouette, it's just how I was impatient and tore everything off the cutting mat. So here is the other page, and here I have the background as just a craft cardstock, and because I'm not using a full-on pattern paper background, I don't like when it's all too busy. I have one page in this album that has two double page, the whole double page, both sides with a pattern paper background. But for the most part, I try to have one page more with a background pattern, and then the other page a little more white space, which obviously here wouldn't be white space. It's whatever my cardstock is, but that's what we would call, in design language, that's what we would call white space. So again, when you see me correcting something with the scissors there, it's not because my silhouette was doing a bad job, it's because I was impatient and I pulled it off the mat. And so that's just when it's very intricate cuts that might happen. So anyway, here I have, this is a tag and the beauty with, and then I think it's a full-on, maybe a 3x3 or 2x2. No, it's a journal card, 3x4 journal card that comes from that sheet, but I just resize it. So this is my page done. I'm going to leave you with some more close-ups. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.